What's up everyone, and welcome back to the channel, and today we've got some pretty interesting news because it looks like Dawn of War 4 may finally have a release window. Lots of you have been asking, well, when is Dawn of War 4 going to be released? And we've actually got a bit of news that gives us a little bit more of a closer indication. It comes from the Embracer Group's latest earnings report. Now, Embracer is basically the huge parent company that owns and publishes a bunch of game studios and IPs across the industry, including Deep Silver, which is involved with Dawn of War 4. In that report, which was released today, Warhammer 40k Dawn of War 4 is listed as one of their major upcoming releases for the first half of their 2026-2027 financial year. Now, each financial year starts in April, and so the first half of that will take us up to September. So what that means in plain terms is that the game is currently expected sometime between, well, I guess now and September 2026. Now, obviously, this is not an official release date announcement yet, but earnings reports like these usually reflect what publishers are internally targeting. So it's definitely worth paying attention to. And the timing does also kind of line up with what we've been seeing recently. There's been more marketing activity, more chatter around the game, and we're also expecting new information later on today during the Warhammer Skulls event. There's a real chance we could be seeing new gameplay, another trailer perhaps, or even more clarity on the release date. But there is a part where it's a little bit strange. Even with the reported 2026 window, the developers have still been describing the game as being in alpha stages of development. And well, that's got a lot of people scratching their heads. Because if the game is targeting a release that's close, hearing alpha this late in development feels kind of unusual, especially for a large-scale RTS where balance, performance, and multiplayer testing takes a lot of work. Now, to be fair, studios don't always use development labels in a strict way anymore. Alpha can mean different things depending on the team and how they structure development. But it does still raise questions about how far along the game actually is, and whether this release window could shift if anything changes behind the scenes. From what we do know though, it does sound like they are trying to bring Dawn of War back closer to its roots, with bigger battles, base building, and more traditional RTS mechanics, instead of the experimental direction of the third game, which for some people, well, they never really existed. Anyway, if they can deliver on that, this could end up being a massive comeback for the series. Warhammer 40k is also much bigger than it has ever been, so the timing is actually pretty perfect for an RTS revival. That said, most fans are still being cautious, especially after Dawn of War 3, so expectations are definitely mixed going in. It's important to remember though that the developers of the two games, Dawn of War 3 and, well, Dawn of War 4, are completely different. Dawn of War 4 is with King Art Games, Dawn of War 3 was with Relic. Hopefully though we get more clarity later on today during the Warhammer Skulls event, which could clear up a lot of these questions. I will of course be covering whatever is released, so make sure you're staying tuned in to the channel. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comments. Does the term alpha label worry you at all, or do you think the game is further along than it sounds? As always, if you enjoyed the updates, make sure you give the video a thumbs up, take care, and see you next time.